Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Mike, Jonathan, Kristin, and I are back here for Survivor 1 through 50, talking about Island of the Idols. And before we start, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I should probably put a disclaimer in here. We are going to talk about sensitive subjects. So obviously viewer discretion is advised. So we will talk about it. With that being said,
skip it if you need to. If that's going to be a thing for you, if that's a trigger, skip this episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't watch the other ones.
Yeah, watch the other episodes of every other season. But yeah, why did you guys want to discuss Island of the Idols to kick it off?
I'll start. Because I don't think Kristin has any reasons, so we're just gonna skip her. So I wanted to talk about this one because number one, it's the last of the like old era, right? And so we're kind of moving into the new era, and it's fun to kind of talk about like what was, right? But really, for me, it's Janet. I got to actually play with Janet. Well, not play with Janet, but play as she was my mentor in an online game that I played. 5 years ago now. And she was so much fun. Like, got to engage with her. I actually met Ethan during that game as well, and Kelly Wentworth. But Janet was my mentor. And so, like, this season just kind of like encapsulates that time of my life where COVID was just about to start. And then, you know, COVID became like this online world of Survivor for me. And so Janet has kind of been that journey for me. And so I had to watch her season because apparently she's not going to be on season 50, which is super frustrating. But yeah. I'm excited to talk about her. Unfortunately, I have to talk about some other things as well, but definitely excited to kind of talk her game and why I think she's just amazing.
Yeah, I love Janet. Obviously, she's a friend of our show. She's been on a few times. She's going to be coming back for one of our 50 recaps. So have nothing but great things to say about Janet Carbin. She is amazing. Kristin, what about you? Why did you want to discuss this season?
I did not want to discuss this season. Listen, so I will say when Island of the Idols came out, knowing that we were going to get Winners at War, I was like, why are we even doing this season? Because I do not need to see Sandra and Rob again, back-to-back seasons. We've already seen them enough. Not that I don't love, well, one of them. But we've seen them enough, and now we're gonna get them on this season, and now we're gonna get Winners at War. I was just kind of over Boston, Rob, and Sandra being on my screen. Again, love one of them, the other one, whatever. But with that, I am very good friends with Janet. I've met Janet. My family, we've had barbecues, we've done sleepovers, we've done beach days. Janet is a very close friend of mine. I, of course, my little tagline, wherever it is on the screen somewhere, obviously, which we'll talk about, F the Nullifier, that I have to be here for Janet. And also Elaine, Beck, I know them very well. They're great people that we're going to really get to talk about. And so I really want to bring some light into these amazing people, talk some massive shit about some other ones, but also being the only female in this kind of season, I guess, like, I'm here for that. Question mark? Maybe. I don't know.
You did. I just want to let you know you did say that there were some amazing people in this season. I just want to go back and just remind you.
I just named them, by the way.
I'm excited to talk about Elaine and Lauren as well, so we'll definitely touch on them in this season. Jonathan.
I mean, this is like a means to an end. I mean, like, we're getting to like the new era, and again, like, we're getting ready for the next cap, which is Winners at War. And I'm assuming we knew that Winners at War was coming by the time it came out. Yeah. So even before this season came out, people were already falling victim to like how they felt with 49 going into 50. Like, let's get through this so we can get to the one that we really care about. But then, like, as you're getting through this, you're like, oh shit, this is kind of wild. But like Kristin said, there are some little nuggets of light in this that we can talk about and get into. And I guess just like
let's
give some light to this a little bit and just kind of look at like how this is about to get to the cap to go into the new era. And like Mike said as well, is we're reflecting now. We're in this huge reflection of how the 30s probably weren't that bad as we look back on them.
Yeah, my 30s were great.
Your 30s were great. Yeah. I'm going into my 30s.
I'm also about to enter my 30s. But yeah, like with Boston Rob and Sandra, like I was still kind of excited to see how this twist would play out with them in it. But I do agree with you guys. It's like it is like we knew Winners at War was coming, and so it's like we're about to see them back to back. And it's interesting that this also births some drama for Winners at War because Sandra doesn't get told by Boston Rob that he's going to be back out there with her. And so that gets her very upset. So.
No comment.
Oh boy.
Another story.
But
Another podcast.
But just in general, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on like the theme of Sandra and Boston Rob being out here and this cast?
I mean, the giant idols were cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Like, yeah.
Took a lot of work to.
That took a lot of work. That took a lot of work.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about that.
Mike hates me right now.
Yeah. No, I don't. I love your faces. Like that.
I thought they were cheesy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like,
I did too.
This is so stupid.
It didn't even look like them. I didn't.
No,
think
it
was so silly.
It was horrendous.
It looked like very young versions of them.
Yeah,
cringed every time. This was stupid. I will say I did like the theme. I think that this is cool to have. Like, we do have some greats. Like, Boston Rob and Sandra, like, they are considered the greats of Survivor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is a fun thing to have new players come in and be like, you've played 5 million times, you've won, but, like, give me some advice. And I think that I loved, like, the missions of it because, like, you had these choices, like, because of the lesson that was taught. Some it worked out for, others it did not. So I do think that theme is fun. I mean, there's a game out there that I won't name at all. But they also did a theme that was like this, and it was really fun too. So yeah. I mean, again, I'm not going to name it, but you should check it out sometime. But yeah, I think this theme is really cool.
Yeah, totally agreed. I mean, that season 14. I mean, it was really good. They used it really well too.
We won't talk about that because we're not here to talk about that. But I mean, it's a great theme.
Mike,
I think it was a fun twist to the season. I really did enjoy the different challenges that they had to do to earn their advantages and idols. It also kind of sparked some weird kind of behind the scenes rumoring going on because Jeff is getting older and Rob is kind of like the male face of the show. There was some rumors going around that is Rob taking over for Jeff after season 40? Clearly that didn't happen, which thank God. But I was like, please don't. No more Rob. I'm done with Rob. Although we weren't done with Rob. Thanks, traders. Thanks, Deal or No Deal and all that.
Thanks, everything. Take him off my screen.
Like honestly, not blah Rob, but blah Rob. Like you're too much. Go with Amber, retire, do your thing. I don't know. I'm over him. Anyway. This was where the rumor started that Rob was going to be the new host of Survivor, and I was like, I probably am done. I'm not done because Jeff's still there.
Yeah, I remember fondly when Boston Rob said at Redemption Island, he's like, it's time to stop playing these games and like just retire, and like then he's keeps coming back.
He's still here.
We would also like to take a moment to just say that this is not a bash on Boston Rob at all.
No.
It's starting to sound like that, but
sorry.
We don't mean that. So don't come for us, Boston Rob lovers.
Yeah, like 6 times, six.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Although we're all like, yay, Suri, but whatever.
Yeah. That's
I'm also like, I'm done with Suri. I've seen her enough.
Yeah, kind of.
6 times is a lot for both.
I think Australia kind of ruins it for me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this cast, though, I know Kristin's going to disagree, but I think this is a pretty solid cast minus, the not so great members of this cast. But like
all of them? Sorry.
you have some great players
and then named, remember?
And then we have some great characters, and I think there's a distinction between the two that some may not be great players, but they're entertaining. So what are your guys' thoughts? Kristin, you want to start?
You don't want my thoughts. On this. I think, how can let's make this into a puff piece, Mr. Reyes.
Kristin Tanaka puff piece.
I think that the majority of this cast can kick rocks. I think the few are amazing. I think we had some very amazing strategic players. I think we had a couple amazing social players. I think we had people that didn't know they were on an island, and probably took one of Debbie's pills from her all those times that she's done crazy shit on this island. So I do not have high regards for most of this cast, as other people on this podcast might. But I will gladly cheer on the ones that I really do.
Yeah. Jonathan, your thoughts on this cast?
I mean, I'm just gonna like echo Kristin, because it's like, it's really like, I don't like know about this. I already like was aware of like the reputation of the season going in, and I was like, oh, so it's not just that. There's tons of other shit in here, like Boston Rob and Sandra's goofy idols, them building the magic tree house, like, you know, and then just like all this other shit going on. And like it's very few and far between with like little select cast members that you're just like, okay, like we're gonna like cherry pick these, hold them real tight and close, put them in our pocket for another day, and then everyone else can, you know, I don't know, let's
Kick
just
rocks.
yeah, politely, or maybe they all need to go get advice.
Right, that's the puff piece of it all.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I'm like, like I just like, yeah, I don't know. Everyone was like, "We'll just get to 40." Like, I don't know.
I would like to also echo that I said this earlier. This is why I enjoy doing podcasts with Jonathan, because Jonathan and I are always on the same page.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I know you disagree with this. So what are your
Mike?
Okay, so let me be the positive I don't know, spinner of all of this. So for me, I think like for me, an underdog game is something that I look for in a Survivor season. Like I want to root for the underdogs. I want to root for the people that are kind of like given the shoddy, you know, situations and like can get out of ditches that maybe they dug themselves or were dug by the game for them. I think there's there's so many of them in this season that I feel like it was almost like I was rooting for everyone at different points of the game. Elaine initially kind of starts off a little on the end of things. Her game really like kicks up. You've got Karishma, who maybe not rootable, but like you definitely like watch her kind of struggle through a lot of the basic parts of the game that like a normal person would struggle through. You've got Jason and Noura, who end up at the bottom of their original tribe, and you see them kind of develop as the game goes on. Jason becomes more of a target because of his strategic sense instead of being the weak member of his tribe. So I think that there's a lot of great moments of players turning from like I'm at the bottom and I'm actually like playing the game and doing well, and I'm a threat because of that. That's what I really enjoyed about this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it's really interesting that this season you are seeing people get completely blindsided in the pre-merge. That normally you might have a slower pre-merge, but we're going to talk about like Ronnie, Molly, Vince, Chelsea, Jason, Jack. Like most of the pre-merge gets blindsided completely.
Tom.
Yeah, I mean Tom's there.
Maybe not. Maybe he's not blindsided, but like Tom is trying. He does have moments where he does strategize and try to make things happen.
He was the first Canadian as well.
Yeah,
he was the first Canadian.
So that's a distinction. He just gets forgotten. So unfortunately, but let's get into the actual season. So the first episode, we get our Lyro and our Vokai tribes, and immediately we get introduced to Teacher Tommy, immediately forming these social connections on his tribe. I think Tommy is honestly a bit underrated. Like I personally think Tommy is like a top 15 winner. That might be controversial, but
Mike. The contrarian.
No.
Really? Wow.
When one of your alliances is called Tommy and his mommy, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't, because mommy is who I was rooting for. I wasn't rooting for you.
Well, I
definitely like
think
Tommy, but like no.
I mean, I definitely think if Janet was the winner, I would regard Janet probably higher. But you know, Tommy's good, I think.
He's like, he's good.
I have some things to say about Tommy when we get to the end, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I just
Any other initial thoughts on Tommy as he immediately starts socially connecting, reveals his strategy, or are we ready to just move on?
Sure.
All right, all right. Well, let's just
He's
let's-
great.
oh my god, am I like the only person?
No,
okay, like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing I'll say about Tommy is I think that early on we get set up to see that this is the type of game Tommy is playing. He is a very much a social winner versus like kind of other ones that we've seen that could be strategic or physical or things like that. And so I think this does set us up for the entire season to see that Tommy is going to become the social winner of the season. I think a lot of them would have been the social winner. There was a lot of strategy involved as well. I think the strategy with Tommy's game mostly stems from Laura and Ashley Beck. And I not that he didn't have strategy in there, but I think a lot of that was them playing off of each other and mostly coming from her. So I do think that he is what we call like a very much social winner.
I agree with that.
Maybe that's why I don't like him, because I am also a social player, so like I wouldn't want to play with him. But
You and Tommy wouldn't sit well together.
no, I would immediately target him. He's got to go.
Targeting the fellow teacher.
oh, that too. Like we can't have two teachers on the island. Sorry.
I do want to give credit to Lauren as well, because Lauren Ashley Beck is a huge part of Tommy's game as well. Like I don't deny that. So I'm sure we'll be mentioning her more as the season goes on. And then on the other tribe, we do get Elaine immediately emerging as like the underdog. And
My busted can of biscuits. I love her.
the busted can of biscuits. And you have Ronnie, the poker player of the season, who again kind of fits the stereotype of poker players in Survivor. Of like they go super hard and they completely fall flat on their face. So poor Ronnie, but I mean I'm much happier to see Elaine survive. So.
The thing about Elaine, I remember watching the season and I like, and not, this is no like body shaming or anything, because Elaine even calls herself a busted can of biscuits, but I, being a heavier set woman, loved like I remember going, oh my gosh, it's not these like little twigs out there. And again, this isn't body shaming skinny people either, but like I just remember like these are real body type people out here. Like, because you always get like the guys that have like the beer gut or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's more acceptable, right? On Survivor. Like the men can have a beer gut and who cares? Like women, they have like one love handle and it's like, ew, I don't want that on my screen. You know? So like, not to like make this like a women men thing, but I was so pleasantly excited and surprised to see like average regular women out there, like Elaine, Janet. Like I was just so excited to be like, we've got older women, we've got like bigger than the normal Survivor person. Not that she's a big person, but like, you know what I mean? Like I was so pleasantly surprised as a heavier set woman to be like, I have some representation now. Like I can still go on Survivor too. Like, you know what I mean? So that I was really, really excited to see Elaine, and she graced my screen every Wednesday, and it was a beautiful thing. There was not one time was I not excited and have the biggest smile on my face when it came to Elaine.
That's her smile. Her smile is just so like enticing, and you just want to like get to know her and like be her friend.
Yeah. And like honestly, from knowing her and hanging out with her and having a beer with her and things like that, I get why people come to her and why people form around her. She just has the best interactions with people, the best like energy, just everything about her you just want to connect to. And so I don't even think she had to try. Like I really just, she wasn't trying, like she was just being Elaine, and I think that speaks volumes for her.
Yeah. It's just weird to me that like Ronnie really thought he could get enough people to immediately get rid of Elaine. That's just very odd to me to go that hard immediately.
But it's also like, again, that stereotype that Survivor pulls out of like, oh, who's the weakest on the tribe? The old person, the bigger person, the like nerdy person. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is stupid. Let's move on. Like everybody has a threat in their own right. For you to say somebody's weak on a tribe because of one challenge performance is stupid. And like, I'm glad you got your ass handed to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was also annoyed by Ronnie at Tribal Council when like Elaine's talking about the hardship she's been in life, and Ronnie immediately tries to like bring up all the hard things he's done in his life, like taking job at McDonald's or like whatever.
I wasn't even gonna bring this up because we would be on a whole nother rant for me, because I can't. This is like Colton in One World being like, I know how to servant, and so I'm not racist. Or you've got like fucking other dumb fuck Dan that's over there like, I'm an adopted child, when we're talking like, you can't. This was like a repeat of all of that. I
immediately thought of Dan.
Yeah, I will 100% stop, because it will send me on a rant. But yes, oh my God, Ronnie, please shut up. And I'm so glad the island kicked you on the way out.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I then we can go over to Vokai, because we also do get kind of some overconfidence from Jamal, who is also another good friend of Vanquish. And this is where Jamal, Jack, and Molly immediately become like this power trio and immediately get overthrown. Which
Queen and Jack.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy too, like that both tribes really just like overthrow someone that is kind of playing too hard. So
I will say for Jamal, because I mean, I don't want us to completely forget about the whole reason why this theme exists, is them going and doing their missions. We saw that sometimes it works out great for them and other times it didn't, and it just really didn't work out for Jamal there. But again, it was like a really good for all of us watching and being fans of Survivor. We're also learning these lessons if we ever get on the island, right? So we're like, all of us can be like, oh, I'm going to do that. 100% will do that. I'm taking you on. Like, I don't care. But like, it's all about learning the lesson that you got. And I think that was important for us to see somebody go in there and attempt to be like all of us, like, I'm on the island. Like, I can't like let this moment like pass. I'm not going to be like scared, like go big or go home. And then you went home. Like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, shoot, didn't think that one was going to happen. So
as fun as the lessons were, I struggled with some of the hypocrisy of the lessons, because in the very beginning, they kind of like dog Elizabeth for being like too quick on the draw to like do stuff. And then was it like 3 episodes later, they pull the thing, like, you have to make a decision right now. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what do you, Rob, shush. Like, I don't understand. You're so hypocritical. But
I do agree with you on that, but I will say I think that it's because of the beginning, and then like now you have to start making quicker decisions. I think that was kind of more of the lesson. But I do agree with you. There was some hypocrisy.
There was a lot of conflict in some of the lessons, and I was like, okay, well, you said this 3 episodes ago.
100%, yeah.
Like what?
I did also want to bring up, I think like Boston, Rob, and Sandra sitting in the little like shack watching is kind of fun at times, and like I believe speaking of hands of the fans, I believe this is the first suggestion from Jimmy Fallon. I believe he suggested the little shack. So that's just going to come into play for Survivor 50 again with Jimmy Fallon.
Yay.
I thought what was fun about the shack is that it gave Sandra a little bit more highlight. I feel like Rob kind of took over a lot of like the challenge stuff, whereas Sandra is so funny that like she would make these comments in the spy shack that you were just like, yes, okay, Sandra, this is the Sandra we know and love.
Yeah, she's like, you know, she'd be like, get their ass or whatever she says in there at times, or it's really funny. All right, I think we can talk about a couple lessons here, because I think there's some really funny ones here. You have Vince has to sneak over to the other camp to grab some like proof of fire, and we're gonna see this with Sarah Lucino and Tony in a couple seasons, or next season. So Vince ends up like having to rummage around in the dark, find ashes, and bring them back. I mean, what did you guys think of this? Obviously, we're gonna see it next season. What did you guys think of Vince's journey?
I liked it. I thought so. I liked it because 1, he was successful, but 2, I just think it also like, if he wasn't successful, like I think it would have made a really interesting moment of like, what the fuck? Like, how am I gonna get out of this? Like, why am I here? I'm not supposed to be here. So I was kind of like, you're kind of like hoping that he does get caught. But I thought it was fun. It's a little playful. It's a little bit kind of goofy, but like, I don't know. It would have been fun to see him get caught.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been funny if like, you know, Tommy or Janet or somebody just wakes up and sees Vince there just like trying to grab ashes out of the fire pit.
Knowing Janet and how early she wakes up, it was a very big possibility. Oh my gosh.
And then the other one is of course Noura's moment where she goes over there and she has to persuade her tribe to make her the caller of the challenge, and immediately they see that she's not a good choice to do this, and so they refuse to make her the caller. This is the funniest thing ever, just like to get someone to get rejected so hard.
It's, you know what? It's like watching a train wreck and you get the popcorn ready, because it's like, it's not even a train wreck that you don't want to happen. You want this to happen because she is so sure of herself. She's like, I've got this in the bag. Like, no problem. It's 2 seconds. Like, she's like, guys, I think it. And they're like, no.
No.
I don't even think I barely think she even like came up with a plan. She was just like, I could be the call. No, not happening.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell.
I don't know. I think it just gave us a fun moment because it's just kind of like, she's gonna fail this one. Like, it just like you're watching it all fall apart as it leads up. But I also think it gives us. I'm a Noura fan, like weirdly enough, but like I think it's fun to watch her kind of weasel her way out of things, and she does it all season long. Like, you watch the whole season, and she's right at the end, like weaseling herself out of different things. So for me, I think it really just. It made me really appreciate Noura. And I think honestly, Noura is the like preamble to Caroline. Like, I mean, like Carolyn. Like I think that it's just this like, you like this like over the top personality that kind of sort of might have some strategic like prowess to her game, but like blows it almost every time.
Yeah.
Kristin, thoughts?
Kristin, do the rewatch.
No comment. We'll move on. I don't want to go on.
Yeah.
I'll let the commenters fix that.
I love Noura. Let's give Noura her flowers.
You guys take care of that one for me.
I do agree with her being like the preamble to Carolyn in 44.
That part,
like,
yes.
Yeah,
I'll do that one.
They are basically the same person if you look at it in a way. All right. And then, it is interesting that we are going to get 2 people taken out with idols in their pockets in a row. We get Vince and then Chelsea. And Chelsea was a big shock because like they set up that they have this women's alliance on the Lyro tribe. And then all of a sudden they all turn on Chelsea because apparently she's in a showmance with Dean. And I remember at the time she had like said post show, she's like, we were never in a showmance. But like, I don't know. That's a bit confusing to me of like, well, clearly they saw you.
Don't hate on people trying to get warm at night, okay? It doesn't mean you're in a showmance.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's probably it, but it's just like, how close were they that like everybody's like, oh yeah, we gotta throw away our women's alliance to take out Chelsea. Like, I don't know. It was just very, very interesting. And I think, again, I'm not really a fan of Missy for multiple reasons in this season. But it's like, big move itis of like, someone just wants to all of a sudden come out and make this giant move for absolutely no reason.
Mm-hmm.
So. I give Aaron a little bit of prop here because I think Aaron's the one. Oh my God, roll your eyes so hard.
I gotta check my face sometimes. I'm so sorry.
But okay, so Aaron's here, right? And he isn't actually in any sort of control of anything at this point.
Right.
And so I think that it's his opportunity to flip the girls as quickly as he can. He's got this bond with Missy. Why not double down on it and see what happens? And I think he's the one that pushes both Dean and Chelsea at one point, where he basically says, we got to split them up. I think he initially says Dean's name because he figures that the girls are all going to stick together. But it really does get Missy and Elizabeth kind of thinking, like, maybe we should split them up. So I do give Aaron a little credit on this because I think he starts the trend of trying to break up Dean and Chelsea. My concern about the showmance thing is it really does, like, Dean mentions like once or twice that he's like into Chelsea, mm-hmm. and then suddenly it's a big showmance conversation.
Right.
That's what irritated me about it. Chelsea never once really makes any comment about Dean like being interesting or, she likes him or anything like that. It's all that Dean says it and suddenly it's a thing. I did not like how people did that.
Yeah, I think part of that is also the fact like Dean's going to be our runner-up, so they're going to take his perspective over Chelsea's, unfortunately.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of editing there.
just for Mike moving forward for the rest of this podcast. I am anytime I feel my face is not going to be appropriate, I will just do this.
Like the TikTok trend.
Yes,
I got you. I'm following.
I got you. So anytime my RBF or I roll comes out,
Kristen, just keep it up.
Probably. That's honestly where we're probably going.
We're not going to see your face for the rest of the podcast.
It's just going to be this the entire time. Oh,
all right. So then we are going to get to our swap, and this is where Elaine is going to get the vote blocker, and she is going to use it because it is 4-4 between Lyro and Vokai, and she ends up blocking Jason's vote to take out Jason. I did want to analyze this for a sec, because usually when you steal a vote or block a vote, you don't steal or block the person you're actually voting out. So I thought that this was a very interesting move to do that to Jason and then vote Jason out. So
it also proves the point that I've made earlier that a lot of these people are not that great at the game and didn't realize what was happening. So in case in point, Mike, point just made. There you go.
Like there's been a lot of that on Survivor where like, hey, find this during the challenge, and most of them are pretty successful. So like when you're in the middle of a challenge, you're not thinking about what is that person doing over there. You're thinking about like, how am I helping and how am I making sure that like we're going forward in the challenge. I don't think anyone's paying attention to like, oh, Elaine had to take a quick break in the corner because of whatever, and she's really just stuffing something in her pants. Like, I don't think it's really like easy to catch people doing things during a challenge. On the flip side of that, I think Elaine was really smart in bringing in Elizabeth to help, because that really bonded them back together to move forward in the game. And I think that was a really smart move of Elaine's.
I agree with that. Jonathan, Kristin, any other thoughts on this?
Oh.
This is also when she says, I like steaks, nom 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 nom.
Yes.
Nice.
A very great line from Elaine. I think now we can bring up probably one of the best Jamal moments, because this is the conversation he has with Jack about something that Jack says about Jamal's buff. And I think this is a really important conversation, and I like that Jack and Jamal can both professionally and like just have this conversation as adults, and like both of them understand where the other one is coming from. I think this is a beautiful moment, and actually one of my favorite like scenes of the season.
Yeah, I would like to double down on that, because I think that I mean, we're seeing like, and granted, like we're not going to make this any type of political way, but like we do see a lot of times that unfortunately, because of so many things that are out there right now, we do see that we can't just have these conversations where one presents one side and one presents their side, and like kind of discuss of why they feel this way, why this made them feel that way, and so on and so forth. And I do think this was a very beautiful moment to have this moment of like, hey, I'm not sure if you really meant that way, but this is how I took it, and this is why it comes off wrong. And then Jack to be receptive of that, not immediately getting defensive and be like, oh, I didn't mean like, you know what I mean? Like that was a very beautiful moment that all adults should go back and watch, of how to be adults.
Yeah.
End of my TED Talk. Thank you.
All proving that we have these amazing cast members that are on this show. What an amazing moment, right, Kristin?
Totally, yeah. Yep.
Any thoughts, Jonathan, on this moment?
No, it's a great moment. Important moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, unfortunately, this is the same episode that then Kelly is going to make her move to take out Jack with the idol. She gives it to Dean. And, like, this kind of sucks, because I do like Jack, especially after that moment. And then he just kind of just gets blindsided out of nowhere. And like, this is also interesting because it makes me wonder if production was kind of already thinking about the Dan stuff, because Jack becomes the first member of the jury, and it is like 14th place, and generally you're not going to have the jury start at this point. So it's just a question I've been wondering.
Looking at that.
That's interesting.
7th voted out, first jury member. I'm looking at his stats.
Yeah.
Real quickly.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this? Kristin, you look like you might have something. Oh. Okay. Well,
all I will say is like I don't think that was them preparing, because I don't think they had a preparation, as we see from how the season went down with that. But we're going to talk about more of that later. I don't want to make this whole podcast about that, because there's more. So we'll when we get to that part, we'll talk about that part.
Yeah. I definitely just thought it was a weird thing to start the jury at this point. But so
this is also sort of when the women's alliance conversation kind of hits a peak, and it's I think what's interesting about the conversation is that, like, there's so many valid points that are brought up about, we don't really talk about men's alliances that way, and we don't and I think it's a really genuine conversation that we got to see in Tribal Council. I think it taints New Era, because I think Jeff tries to reiterate that moment in the New Era, but I think that that's a super genuine moment. And I want to just, like, again, give a little bit of flowers to Jamal. I think Jamal is such an eloquent speaker, which is, I think, why he gets started early in the merge. But he's so eloquent in the way he is able to articulate his feelings, but also like a cultural, like, conversation. Like, he's able to talk about both sides without, like, really talking about his own experience or his own gender or his own, race. And I think it was such a, I think I fell in love with Jamal as a player in that moment, because he was just so perfect in saying what he needed to say, but also allowing the women to say what they needed to say in that moment. It was, I love that Tribal Council. It sucked to watch Jack go home, but I
will say too, I mean, that was the one thing that and again, we're going to get to the moment, so, like, we'll talk about that, like, what was happening during this time. But I will say that I do think it is very important, because we do see time and time again, not just in this season, a lot of seasons. Granted, okay, we did have Black Widow, but great, I get that. But we see constantly in Survivor every time, well, are the women going to make an alliance? Are the women going to make? It's always a topic of conversation. And you never see the women are like, oh my God, are the men going to come together? Are they going to make it an alliance? Like, I just feel like we're putting women down a peg by just being like, they're going to align because they're women. Like that. Like, we never see anybody like women being like, oh, they're going to align just because they're men. You know what I mean? And I think that we also see a lot of times in Survivor too, that, like, especially I see with a lot of fans out there, that with women, when they make these, like, big strategic amazing moves, they're, like, bitchy, or they should have taken their Midol that day, or all this other stuff, where a man does it and then it's like, oh, they're such a boss, it's so awesome. So I do think that this was a very important conversation to have for the structure and the continuation of Survivor, and what we get to we're able to talk about more now in the new era.
Yeah, agree.
For sure. So now we're going to get to the episode where unfortunately we do have to discuss, like, what happens with Kelly and Dan, and this is a very hard episode to talk about. I think this episode was also, it was 2 hours as well, so I think it's just a very hard episode to watch and discuss, but we obviously need to touch on it a little bit. But Kelly is going to get voted out here after all this goes down. And so, what are your guys' thoughts on the whole Dan situation?
Can I want to put this out here because of a couple things. And I know that there's more, like, this is what people think of when they think of season 39.
Yeah.
I will say, first of all, before we go into this, I think that Dan has had a lot of disruptions in his life because of what this has happened. And I don't think that this needs to continuously, when anybody talks about Survivor 39, how this shouldn't be beat like a dead horse. Like, this should just like move on. There's so many, which is why I know a lot of us were wanting to bring a positive light and talk about, like, Janet and Lauren, Ashley, Beck, and Jamal and those things, because, like, everybody knows about it. We don't need to continue to beat the dead horse. So I will say, like, I don't think we should stick on it too much, but I think that there's actually a bigger problem. Like, obviously that was a big problem, but I remember, and I said this to you guys earlier, I think when I was watching this, I was like, Survivor's kind of screwed here because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because you can't, if you do this and you make this man this predator and that he's not, then you've just now ruined his life. But you can't ignore Kelly and her feelings, whether they're valid or not. Like, but that's how she felt, so they are valid. So you can't just disrespect that feeling that she's having either. And so I was like, they're screwed no matter what here, because no matter what, somebody's going to get screwed here. And sadly, they both ended up in a way getting screwed. With that, I think that this they saw things happening. I think that things should have been handled a lot further and a lot quicker than this. I see a bigger problem with two women that use this to their advantage.
Yes.
Than I actually do this situation with Dan. So I will of course let you guys talk about that. I just feel like the Dan thing should not be harped on too much, but that's just me.
Yeah. Jonathan, you think you wanted to say something?
I think like I remember when I was watching this and everything was going down, obviously copy and paste everything that Kristin was saying too. But a lot of what I was thinking was kind of this idea of like what are you like willing to do for like $1 million? Or like when is this a show and when is this not a show? And you could see some of the contestants were like Janet doing what Janet is doing. I was like, that's fucking awesome. But then all of a sudden, it's like, because it reminds me like the whole idea of if your head's not in the game and you stop thinking about it as a game, then like in any other season of Survivor, you get like axed for that, or it's like their eye wasn't on the prize. As soon as you make it like personal, or as soon as you, I don't know, like have like an actual human moment, which would happen all the time in like old school Survivor when you would have people that would like break out of it and have human moments. And that's what I loved about Janet was she kind of was doing that. She was doing that. And then you kind of had a lot of the cast like kind of be, whether they were like in game mode or not, kind of like not reciprocate that at all. And I can imagine on Janet's standpoint, probably feeling really alone in that. And with me just feeling like how like, oh, like be careful who you defend because they might not defend you back kind of thing. And I was like, wow, like that, like I kind of know how she felt because I've defended people thinking they would like defend me just for anything, right? And then like not getting that. And I can only imagine just being that in a reality TV setting, trying to get out of that reality TV headspace for a moment and then just having it completely be just shut down because people are just so in game mode about not seeing what's right or what's wrong in that moment. So that's kind of like what the big thing I took away too. And obviously it made Janet a fucking superhero.
Yes.
Forward, and like we all fucking love her and stuff. And I'm glad that she did that because she also took her own personal story instead of being like a life. I believe she was a lifeguard or she was in charge of like that was cool. Like I like people in Survivor that can like take the blinders off of game mode and be like, okay, now we're talking to Janet the person. Like, you know, it's like we need more of that in Survivor. I think it's just that's what I took away from that whole segment.
Well said. Yeah.
I won't extend this much longer because I do agree with Kristin. I think it's talked about all the time, but I do think that there is a poignant moment here. I think the dilemma that I'm having, and I think Jonathan said it very eloquently, is that there's a game going on, but there's also real life feelings and emotions and things that are happening within the game that you don't deal with in Monopoly or other basic games that you play with your family, right? And so I think the dilemma that I have as somebody who enjoys watching Survivor is that I'm watching the gameplay unfold, and then there's this kind of like real world moment that's really engaging to watch, but it's not comfortable, and it's not something that we were used to seeing in like our everyday like reality television is its own thing, but like Survivor is kind of a different version of reality television that like you watch it for the fun, you watch it for the challenges, you watch it for the gameplay, and then there's some real life stuff kind of sprinkled in, and I think this just kind of hit us, and I think that's where I think a lot of people just took a big step back when they're watching a season like this, because for me in a rewatch, like now that I know what happened, right? Like I know kind of how things end up. So you're kind of almost more satisfied about the fact that at least something was kind of done or like handled by production. But at the end of the day, it's also a game. And so like the very beginning of the episode is Noura throwing Kelly under the bus. And so Kelly's trajectory is not going well, but Kelly doesn't know that. And I think this kind of adds like this challenging complication to the game where Kelly, I think, was always going to end up the target in this time of the game. And unfortunately, this kind of makes it confusing and uncomfortable and weird because we watch someone speak up and then get voted out. And I
Right.
think that becomes part of the conversation. And I think it's hard to separate those two things. And that's kind of where I'm coming from it, right? I think whatever Kelly was feeling was absolutely valid.
Yeah.
I think Kelly deserved to be able to speak up. And I think she was validated by other people muddying the waters, we'll say. But I think the dilemma is that there's still this game going on and people are still vying for $1 million. And I think that just complicated way too much of this, that it just made it very difficult to play. If you weren't Elizabeth, Missy, you know, Janet kind of made her decision and Kelly,
Yeah.
right? Like, and then you got Aaron kind of chiming in at Tribal saying stupid things that
Oh,
are
sorry.
like, you know, oh, well, I didn't know about it, right? I didn't know about it. So like, why didn't she come to me and talk to me about it? And Jamal,
Yeah.
once again,
Yes. Yeah.
chimes
Voice
in
of
and
reason.
eloquently is like, well, I think that's part of the problem, man,
Yeah.
with muscles. Like,
Right.
I don't think
Yeah.
you need to be her savior right now. Like, that's not the point.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. That was another good Jamal moment. Sorry, Mike. Were you gonna finish?
No.
Oh.
That's kind of where I wanted to end it.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I was just gonna touch one more thing on like the whole idea of like being really good at like compartmentalizing as a Survivor player. Like that's the whole thing. If you're playing like a season of Survivor, you need to like be really good at like compartmentalizing, like whether it's like emotions or gameplay or whatever it is. But this is like the season where it's like if you're almost too good at compartmentalizing because sometimes you need to break character and break out of it to have human moments with people. And it's just that was just a crazy situation if I thought of like, oh, just being able to compartmentalize in a good game, but sometimes it can be overused or not in a good situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Jake, go ahead.
No, I was gonna segue away from this, but what did you want to say, Kristin?
I wanted to leave one last thing and not on him because I want to as the only woman on the podcast for a moment,
right,
to say that this all happened during the very what should and could be an amazing moment of the Me Too movement, because women aren't listened to, and it has happened time and time again, not just on Survivor but in real life for women. What I will say is for this to be this moment in this powerful, empowering women getting their voice back moment, for women on this cast to use this as disgustingly as they did,
yes,
is a horrible shame. And I think that they should have been removed from this game for that. But the beautiful bright spot, like we've all talked about, is Janet, because
yes.
I also like the one thing I want to bring up is that Janet, and knowing Janet, this was real Janet. Like we guys have talked about, this is real Janet putting everything aside. Like she is basically throwing away her game, or could be throwing away her game,
right,
to protect what she knows is right. And I love, you know, especially at that family visit, John comes out, and I know John, like her husband, he's amazing too. John to come out and give her that, like the solid, like reaffirmation of like, you are this person, Janet. Like you stand by women, you stand by yourself. You are so amazing in everything you do. And to see the change in her face, like she really needed that because she didn't know. And I feel like that does give her the push, and which makes it even more depressing how this all ends. But like,
yeah,
Janet is just on a pedestal. Like let's make the idols Janet's face and not Sandra and Buster Rob.
100%. Like Janet is amazing. And I did want to echo like everything. Kelly's feelings are valid. Yeah, I think we can move forward. So from there we then get Jamal's lesson on Island of the Idols, where he gets the paper and he gets to do what he wants with it, which I don't think he could have done much else with it than what he was able to do and make the fake legacy advantage. And Jamal was already just in a bad position. There was nothing he could do really. So unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I think again, there should, coulda, woulda, right? Like all of us can have like ideas, but when you have like, it's moments like when we brought up in Samuel Del Sur of Jacqueline, like, oh my gosh, you could have just taken the biggest threat out of Natalie. They're out there with no food, no sleep, no like anything. Like could he have come up with something like 10 times better? Probably. If like you are sharp as a whip and had like 8 hours of sleep and you've got like food in your system, probably. And we're all sitting here on our couches like, that was stupid, you're a dummy, you know, whatever. But no, I think Jamal, like, he's very smart. He's a very smart person. And I think, again, when you're already kind of looking at the exit. You know what I mean? It's the Hail Mary, and it just didn't end up working out. So sadly.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
I think this is also like a moment where Janet shines because she feels herself at the bottom. She ends up with an idol.
Yep.
She misplays it, but who cares? I think it really shines a spotlight on, once again, the underdog part of this season is that a lot of players. Oh, I was waiting for okay.
It's coming. Don't worry.
We're talking about Janet though, so we're good.
Yeah, we're talking about Janet. So I don't have a problem.
So yeah, like watching her kind of underdog herself, like not herself, but like she ends up in this underdog role and then is able to just kind of like climb herself out. It was so much fun to watch in this episode. But it's also like watching Jamal kind of like the Hail Mary, and it does affect part of the game. I mean, like Dean kind of makes it to the end because Dean somehow flips through, like uses the legacy somehow to his advantage. But like, I think what's interesting is that Jamal is able to kind of play the game ahead. The only problem is that he didn't realize that he wasn't going to be in 3 rounds ahead. So like it is, I think Jamal is like one of those like gone too soon, but like I think he was also like a really like smart target early on in the merge. So I don't know. I'm a Jamal fan, so I wish we saw more of him.
Here's the thing too, is I think what is really sad about this season, because of the reputation of it, we have so many amazing people that should be brought back. We have Janet, we have Elaine, we have Lauren Ashley Beck, we have Jamal. These people should 100% be getting other opportunities. And sadly, because of the reputation of the season, I don't know if we'll ever see it, which is completely sad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think all of them should get another opportunity. But yeah, so the Jamal thing happens. I think this is an interesting point in Tommy's game because you obviously have the double tribal where they're split into the 2 teams, and Tommy ends up in a situation where he should probably go because he's in the minority of numbers, and his social game convinces Elaine to flip, and also obviously Karishma is going to flip on Missy because Missy's like literally bullying her. Like, it's
shocker.
Yeah, I mean, this is terrible play from Missy, like how she treats Karishma, and like again, kudos to Tommy for getting Elaine to also flip. So
yeah, I think because these are decent people and they realize that listen, that's kind of like what Jonathan was saying and Mike was saying earlier, is like, this is a game for $1 million. Where's your conscience and your morals come? Because like, what are you going to do to win $1 million? Are you going to be the bully? Are you going to use things that you shouldn't be using? Like, how much of this, like, where do you cut it off? Apparently Missy never cuts it off, and that's something she'll have to live with. But I just think that it's an important part. You're going to make me do this, aren't you? I think that's an important part of Survivor, is because you have to know, like, you're playing with people's emotions. This is a social game at the end of the day.
Yes.
So what is going through your mind in that moment? No idea. And then Mike's going to do something that's going to make me do this.
Yes. So, excuse me. Okay. First of all, Noura just jumping off the balance beam and losing the PB&J for her group was just epically hilarious. Come on, you're excited you won. You're like, yay. And then you realize that, oops, there's still a reward. But
everybody's like, no, Noura, no.
Well, I love that she tries to make up for it like a round or 2 later, where she's like, I'm gonna stay up here so you guys can eat breakfast like crazy. But Jeff's like, nope, challenge is over. I also think Karishma. Okay. I think she doesn't get enough credit here. I think she sees the writing on the wall. She's been put up against the wall multiple times in the season so far. She's clearly the underdog going into this merge, like 4 rounds ago. And she's able to kind of work through, like, I don't like Missy. I want her out of this game. And she does go to Elaine, and she does go to Tommy. And I feel like Karishma is actually the one that is able to basically say, I'm willing to vote out Missy. Are the 2 of you willing to do it with me? And yes, Tommy may have a great social game, great. But I think it's Karishma's actual movement of trying to get the needle off her that actually works in this moment. The dilemma I have is Missy, on her way out, gives all the credit to Elaine. And I'm like, Elaine did nothing. Like Elaine just agreed to do it. Like it's not like Elaine was pushing it or wanting to do it. It was just like, yeah, this sounds like great because it's not me. Although Elaine, I think, was safe at that point. But I don't think Elaine should have gotten any credit for that. I love Elaine. I think Elaine deserved to get far and to win the game. But this was not her moment, and somehow Karishma lost it. So I don't know how that happened, but I give Karishma the credit in this moment.
Well, because Missy wasn't willing to give Karishma any credit, because
that's the issue. Is that people, when you're talking at people, Missy, when you talk at people, they don't want to work with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad I didn't get the face during that though.
So then I did want to bring up, because we haven't talked about Lauren Ashley Beck enough on here, but this is also where she is going to go to the Island of the Idols, and she is going to get the lesson of betting on who is going to win immunity, so that she is going to get an idol. And this is where she bets on Elizabeth or Noura to win the challenge, and Noura does end up winning. Again, I think Lauren Ashley Beck has a great read on what's happening in the game, and she knows that, okay, the Olympic swimmer or Noura, who is really good at endurance challenges, like one of them is probably going to win this challenge. So
yeah, I think this is we have definitely not talked enough about Lauren Ashley Beck at all, but I think that this is, again, these little pieces, and like I think that this is also why Tommy like shines here, is because she allowed him to shine. You know what I mean? Right. Like she did not want she didn't want to be in the limelight because she didn't want to become a threat, right? So but like she is a very self-aware. She has the perfect read on the game, the perfect read of these players. She is spot on with a lot of like her strategy talk, her social talk. Everybody loves her. They know she's a threat, but they're not willing to get rid of her. Like, you know what I mean? She is 100% like chef's kiss. And I think that they're between like Lauren Ashley Beck, Janet, Elaine, like those three, sadly, like I cannot even believe we didn't even get any of them like in this finale. Like it just was like a travesty. It was like the most tragic way to end a season that maybe could have been great.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I just want to say, like, I think in a season of what happens, to not have a woman win it, I think does make it go down even more, because I think if a woman had won, at least you can be like, well, yeah, if Janet just won this season, at least, like, you know, Janet won it, she's been like the superhero out here. So
she could have won it, which we'll get to.
We will get to that, unfortunately.
I'll have to check my face on that talk.
I'm gonna agree with Kristin for a moment. Just a moment.
God. Holy shit.
A temporary alliance.
Hold on, let me get this ready for when it all comes crashing down.
So this is where I agree that there was a lot of gaps in like the Island of the Idol twist where it came to the intelligence of the players, because most of the players at this point have been to the Island of the Idols, and nobody seemed to clock this thing with Lauren. Like, I know that it's going to be breakfast. I know that this, I know.
Oh yeah.
Noura already pulled this and you all clocked it, but yet nobody seemed to clock Lauren when she was doing it. So it was just it was like a moment for me. I was just like, wait a minute. So part of me is like, okay, that has more to do with Lauren's social game, that people were more willing to let that happen and potentially allow her an advantage more so than Noura, or they really hadn't clocked this Island of the Idols anything at all, even though most of them had already been there. And so it was just, I don't know, it was just a moment of like a confusion for me of like, if I've been to the Island of the Idols, I know that Lauren is definitely pulling shit out of her butt. So like, what, like, she can't know this for no reason. Like, they're not going to just tell her this. So what is she getting out of this? And nobody seemed to really talk about it or bring it up. So this is where I question a little bit of the strategy and the intelligence of like how they were playing the game. But Lauren's social game was on point. So I feel like that potentially is why that happened.
I also have another theory. Nora's batshit crazy, and they were like, I don't care. She's not getting anything. That's where that is. I think that they also were like, you know what? Lauren's decent. We like her, and she's not a crazy lunatic. So, like, let her have something. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
It's probably a good theory.
I think it's a very plausible theory.
Yeah. All right, and then we are gonna lose Elizabeth. Karishma plays her idol, and then Karishma's gonna go right after. I think we can just move forward to the Elaine tribal, because this is a very it's a very sad tribal, because Elaine, you know, has like, you know, the talk with Jeff and everybody about, you know, she really came out here to kind of find herself, and it's a very heartbreaking tribal to see Elaine go here. So
yeah, I think this is where, and again, I don't want anybody to say that I'm calling Elaine a fat person, but like this is like these moments of like when you are a bigger person, like you need this affirmation. And I think that this is like another reason why I love Survivor, and like why I really want to go like on this journey is like you can have these like moments in life without Survivor, but to push yourself to a limit that you are like, I'm never going to survive this, but you push through it anyway, to like get that journey, especially when you're like feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like there's always something. And again, I think it also comes back on women as well, as of like these just unrealistic like things that they set forward for us of like always support women, but if you're supporting too much, then you're conniving, and like all these things. And I think that it does make it very sad to have this moment with Elaine, because you finally are like, oh my god, this is such a like yay, and then you're like, oh shit, you guys are assholes. Like it's definitely a ouch moment.
yeah, for sure. Any other thoughts on Elaine here? Are we ready to move on to the finale?
I think Janet and Lauren made their mistake here. I think this is where, like, if the three of them make it to the end, I honestly have no idea who wins.
That would have been
But,
a
like,
final three.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and so, and plus we also get a female winner, right? So that's
Yes.
right there, like
Yes.
already a win. But like, I think what's frustrating about this moment is that we all are rooting for Elaine. She has been the clear underdog from episode 1, when Ronnie kind of throws her under the bus right away. And I think what's heartbreaking is that, like, having done the rewatch, like this is a rewatch, Kristin. So so for me, it was like, I know Lauren and Janet go like right after the other next. And so like, this is the moment, like not knowing that Dan goes, right? Like they don't know that Dan's about to be pulled, but like with hindsight and with, I don't know, something else, this is where their moment falls apart, because without Dan, they have no forward motion, because Dan, I think, is a very clear target at some point in the final 6-5. And so they move forward very quickly and very easily into the final 4. But Tommy obviously is a very sly, very intelligent player. And I think he just clocks them once Dan goes. It's like, well, you guys got to go next. I think saving Elaine here and voting out Noura would have been the better option for both Janet and Lauren here.
I agree.
Yeah, I think, I mean, especially because we're about to lead up to the tagline of my century right now, of I think the thing, knowing Janet and talking with her about this season, she was extremely close with Tommy, extremely close. They still are. I think because you have no way of knowing what's around the corner, right? But that is also kind of the beauty of Survivor, is anything can happen and you never ever know. I also was like, for the longest time, was in a lot of denial. Like, she hasn't told anybody. How does he know to play this idol nullifier on her? And Janice, she's come out and told me now she did tell Tommy, and that's how all of this gets out. That is the only person she told. So she trusted him enough that she was going to get to the end with Tommy, and sadly, Tommy betrays her. So, it does. I mean, even if you do keep Elaine here, I think I still think Janet goes no matter what.
Yeah. Well, let's get to Janet's unfortunate exit, where Dean gets the idol nullifier on a coin flip, unfortunately, which is, I think that's the
it wasn't because of something I said this time.
Yeah. It sucks in that way that it is off of a coin flip. But yes, so Janet has the idol. She should be safe, and it's final 5. And unfortunately, Dean plays the idol nullifier, and Janet is voted out, which is a top 10 worst moment in Survivor history, probably.
Yeah.
So,
Like, not even like a move, just a moment.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this was, I mean, I also think that for that much of power, a coin flip is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also, it's on Janet, love you, girl, for telling Tommy, people have got to stop telling people about their stuff. Please stop doing it. I get that you're trying to build trust with people, and I get that, and I'm not on the island, and who knows what I'll do. I'll probably be telling everybody, and then I'll be screaming at myself on the couch. But I just think that this was a moment of like, that was too much power at the very end of the game for not really like having to work for it. And we end up losing one of the strongest contenders to win.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's interesting because I think he chooses. I don't know if Dean knew that she had the idol at that point, but maybe he did.
He did.
And so like I think that's where the strategy comes in, right? Had she not told Tommy, had Tommy not told Dean, Dean probably takes the idol or the extra vote. Like I think both of those are more powerful than a nullifier without knowing who has an idol.
Right.
So I think the dilemma is that he had knowledge enough to make the right decision there and be able to have the power over Janet that she didn't know he could get. And so I think the dilemma is really just keep your mouth shut, but like also like it's Janet, so like she does no wrong, but like
she does no wrong.
I don't know, like it was because like why not tell Tommy? Like you're right, like gain trust with him, like he is your person, so like why not tell him? And so also, I do think that Tommy used that to his advantage, and that's why he wins the game.
That's what I was just gonna say, is that he made Dean do his dirty work, and so that allows him to still get the vote from. You know what I mean? So,
a
great and again, it proves that he's a great winner.
Yeah, 100%. This is a great move from Tommy to let Dean take the heat.
Screw Tommy and Dean right now. I'm just kidding.
And then we lose Laura and Ashley Beck at the final four because Tommy convinces Noura he is bad at making fire, so she shouldn't put him in. And of course, Noura is crazy and decides to put Lauren up against Dean, and Lauren loses fire, unfortunately. So
I will put this out here. Lauren has had what I found was a very interesting. Because I love fire. I know a lot of Survivor fans don't. I personally love fire because people will argue with me, if you have the great social game, then you don't have to worry about it. Then people just bring you anyway. That is not true. That is 100% not true. You can have the best game ever, social, strategic, all the things, and you can play this perfect, amazing game. People are going to see that as a threat. No matter what you do, you can only do so much in this game without rising to the top to be this amazing person, right? And so this is one of the reasons why I love fire, because at least gives the chance. I know that Lord Ashley Beck actually put this out in a game that shall remain nameless, also put this in, and people hated it, that she thinks that whoever wins that final immunity, they go, and then the other three all should have to compete in fire. And so it may or may not have happened, in a game that's remain nameless. But I also was like, that's an interest. Let's try it out. It didn't work so great. Didn't work so awesome. But I think that it's an interesting thought. But I do love fire. I'm very sad that Lauren Ashley Beck lost that, because then again, I feel like this was an easy win for Tommy at that point.
Yeah, it is crazy to know that Lauren Ashley Beck affected a game that I may or may not have been involved in.
A couple times. It's fine.
Yes. All right. So then we get to the final three, and it's basically nobody is going to give the win to Noura. She's too batshit crazy, as we've seen. Like she's not winning.
See, okay, wait.
Let me get comfortable.
I don't think Noura gets enough credit.
I'm so glad I have a piece of paper over my face.
I think there are moments in Noura's game that are very enlightened, but because of her social game, it gets kind of swept under the rug or given to other people. One of my examples I already gave, right? So like she's able to kind of like make a move or make something happen, but like she's not getting any credit for it. So the dilemma that I'm having with Noura is that she clocks Tommy almost the entire game. She brings it up at Final Tribal and clocks his game a couple of times. And even Lauren's like, oh, that's why Tommy did that. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And you're seeing Lauren kind of have these moments of like, oh, yeah, he was my number one, but he was doing all these other things behind the scenes that Noura knew about, and Noura was trying to figure, So I think Noura had more game and more things to talk about at the end than people gave her credit for or allowed her to be able to talk. Because even in the very beginning, she starts on one of her yarns and they all are like, wah, 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 wah. But it's like, okay, like, let her talk. Like, this is her opportunity to persuade you. Let her have her moment. Like, I know she's probably had a lot of moments throughout the season, but like, give her that moment because she earned it. She's there. Like, let her speak and let her have her ability to knock down Dean and Tommy. Because she does a couple of times. She takes a couple of swings and I think she hits. It's just she doesn't hit it with the jury. That's all.
Mm.
So I'm going to give Michael a fun fact that I don't know if you know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Did you rewatch the season?
No.
Okay.
Listen. This is one of these moments that I don't have to rewatch because I have the beauty of being friends with these people that were on here, so I get the whole rewatch in live and color. Fun fact, going to final tribal council that night, the jury was 100% voting for Noura.
Oh.
See? That's interesting to me because
that is a fun fact for those out there that did not know that.
Credit. That's fair.
So it was going to be Noura. I also have the faces that everybody else on this that is not Michael was like, are you obviously the cheeseburgers didn't help your brain functions, but
rewatch the season. Like Noura makes some really interesting moves.
Do you want my smile guy?
Yes, I do.
there's oh my god. Like, okay, just do the rewatch and like focus on Noura. Like,
you have two people that did do the rewatch and they aren't agreeing with you.
But did you do the rewatch with like open eyes and open ears and open hearts, right? Like,
oh my god. Anyway, but yes, that is the fun fact of that. But yes, Tommy will take it because Tommy, his social game is what takes this. So
yeah. So Tommy beats Dean's advantages and Nora's craziness. So it was
no, not craziness. Like,
well, apparently
can't articulate herself well enough. That's all.
Yeah, going in.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so let's get to our rankings document here. So we have our first boots here. I don't think Ronnie's cracking this top 10.
No.
So we can move on from that.
Yeah, we can just
done.
Let's speed through this.
We can definitely speed through this. Yeah.
Fallen Angels, Lauren Ashley Beck. Is Lauren Ashley Beck cracking this?
I will
cool.
say.
Go ahead.
I will say I think she does because I think she wins this game 100%. So this makes it one of the most saddest fallen angels ever. It's just like a Sari. I don't know if she beat Sari and Rob obviously or Wentworth, or even Malcolm because Malcolm could have won as well. Same with Jerry. I think she's better than Devin, but I also don't love Devin, so I might be a little biased there. I definitely think she should be up there.
I think she might. I think she's at least over Ty and Rudy, in my opinion. I could see an argument for Kathy as well. I think she might be below Rick Devens and Devin, honestly. For me, so I'd probably.
Rick Devens got voted out. Lauren,
well, that is true.
Lauren technically didn't get voted out.
Lauren did not, so I can see the argument. So
Devin shouldn't even really be considered a fallen angel because he was voted out already.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Wouldn't it technically be the other Lauren in that season?
Yes, technically.
Yeah. So I'll go 7th for my ranking. What are you guys gonna say in there?
I think 7th. I 6th. I think I like her better than Devin.
I agree.
Okay, so we have 1-7. We have 1-7, 2 6s. Jonathan.
Jonathan's the tiebreaker.
I mean, I don't like.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, he doesn't like her. All right. Well, I guess.
I like her. It's just like that's a list right there.
Yeah,
no.
That's a list. I mean,
but Rick Devens got voted out.
He got voted out before the fallen angel. It doesn't count.
But it's Rick.
It is Rick.
It's not Rick. It's Devins, first of all.
It's Devins. Sorry, Devins. Okay. But yeah, I'll go with the majority.
Okay. Well, in that case, so Lauren Ashley Beck is now.
Yay!
Yay, lab.
All right, and then
I mean, really,
Ty
Janet
Schreiner.
should be up there too, but I understand the rules of the game.
Yeah,
she's not
sadly,
following, though.
we cannot put Janet in there,
Can we just make
unfortunately.
a Janet category that she just
Yeah, like
We could
Janet.
just make a
Janet wins the
category.
Janet Award.
the Janet Award?
I mean, Janet's award might be coming in our favorite players, so I think that'll
Oh,
count. Losing finalists. I don't think Noura or DK Chillin is making
Absolutely not.
losing finalists.
Mike
so-
will disagree with us, but absolutely not.
I don't disagree with you because I think that is a very
Solid
strong 10 to break through.
That's
I will say that I think that Noura and Dean, I don't think get enough credit for their games in the grand scheme of Survivor. But I will say that I would not break this top 10.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and then winners. I don't think Tommy Sheehan is going to crack the top 10. I wouldn't put him in the top 10. I would put him, as I said, maybe like top 15, because his social game was very strong. He was only in danger one time, and his social game really saved him. But I don't think he cracks this top 10.
Absolutely not.
All right.
No.
I think we're pretty solid till the end of time with all of these.
Yeah, and I don't
I don't think anyone.
You can just skip past that one there too, Jake.
Yeah, we're not.
And that's it, everyone.
Wait, what? No, I would say 8. I would say 8.
No, we're
Hey, Mike,
Island of the Idols, we know is not cracking that.
Absolutely not. Moving on.
I think it could have in a different world, in a different situation with no Dan Spina.
Listen,
Yeah.
this
Or
isn't
Misty.
this isn't rainbows and lollipops, Mike. This is Survivor.
Yeah, This is
Right,
Island of
exactly. That's what
Idols.
I'm saying. This was not a rainbows and lollipop season by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Favorite male and female player. So I will say Janet, of course. We gotta give Janet.
I think it's
Carbin.
across the board. Can we all
Yeah. Yeah, and
Well,
then male.
actually,
Well,
I'm-
okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously I picked Janet, but I think Elaine and Lauren, also
Yeah.
deserve
Yeah.
kind of just
They do.
at least honorable mention.
Can we
in
just
this,
put
right?
a
I think
three-way
all 3 of them
tie?
are great.
A three-way tie on that.
Yeah.
We could. I could do that.
Three-way tie. Easy
All right,
peasy.
and then men. I mean, I'm between Jamal, Tommy, DK Chillin. I'm actually gonna go with DK Chillin.
Yeah.
I think he's. I think there's some funny moments. You have Detective Dean trying to figure out like why Chelsea went home. You have him like finding the idol right under Tommy's nose because Tommy is colorblind. Like there's some really funny moments with DK Chillin. But like 100%, Jamal is very close to that for me. So
The audacity that you picked Dean over Jamal. I'm taking this back. Jamal, I'm here for you. I've got you. The audacity, Jake. The audacity.
I'm sorry, Jamal.
Fuck.
Mm.
Jamal, if anybody was questioning. why
Yeah, I have to go with Jamal. I think Jamal just like the way he confronted the game and the aspects of the game, I think was, and like his cool and calm demeanor during a situation that could have been very emotional for him, especially with an ally. Having said that, I think he handled that so superbly. And I think even with the situations going on with Kelly and Janet and Dan and all of that, I think that Jamal placed his voice at the right time and said the right things. And I don't think there's anyone that any man that I think would have said anything better than what he was able to say. I still think that like maybe not saying anything at all would have been the better option. But I think if he had to speak up and say, I think what he said was well said.
Agree.
Yeah.
Jamal, for sure.
Agreed. All right.
Jonathan's like, I didn't go.
That's fine.
Jonathan, I mean,
Is it Ronnie?
You want my smiley guy too?
No, I'd be like, just this. I was like, no, but I'll say Janet, of course, cross sports. And you know, I will also say Dean for the sole fact that he literally didn't do he literally I love how they said he was so smarmy in the game and he was comical. He was comical. He would be his luck factor is so crazy high. He literally barely did anything. And he just leans back. He's not even looking for the idol. He's like, oh, key. Finds it, just slowly gets up. And I'm like, he was kind of the epitome of just don't try. Just don't try.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not. He's like, he's the greatest player ever. No, I'm just saying, no. I thought he was just funny in the sense of like he literally just didn't try, and he got to the end, and he was the runner up, and that was about it. And it was like, yeah, and then like, he's smarmy or whatever,
Yeah.
and Nora's like, he's cute, and then he's like, and it's like, yeah, it's like, but other than that,
Nora's
it's
like,
like,
I'm not looking for a boyfriend, but if I was,
yeah,
Dean looks like my ex.
Yeah.
I have to just again point out the audacity for this viewership right now. You guys picked Janet as your favorite, and then the one person that takes it out of the game is your other favorite.
Hey,
What is happening in this world?
it's skewed here.
I'm sorry. I
divided.
Jamal.
I'm
was
just
so second
shocked
there.
that Kristin and I were on the same page on something.
I'm amazed. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
All right. Last question. How did this season contribute to the evolution of Survivor as we know it? I think just contributing to the fact that we get some very powerful women in this season. I think that contributes largely to Survivor history. I think also the diversity in casting, because I feel like we got a lot of diverse backgrounds in this season, and that is going to kind of lead to the new era where the casting is really diverse with like, you know, different backgrounds. So what do you guys have?
I think we talked about it a lot already, like through this. Is I think that this allowed an open door for conversations and for people to learn. And I think that that's kind of what New Era has been. I mean, I haven't loved New Era, but I think that conversations do need to be had. I think people need to listen more. Jeff Probst has a great quote that you're shaped like a question mark because you're supposed to listen more. And so I think that that's what this season did give us. And of course, did you turn your camera off because I had said something?
No, sorry. I don't know what's happening.
That's what normally I do. Oh, totally lost him. Anyway, I just think that I think that is what this led us. And then of course we got the amazing Janet, Elaine, and Laura and Ashley Beck.
Yeah. Jonathan?
Yeah, I'll second that in the sense of how like this season happened, and then we kind of had it probed a lot of questions, and then we had 40, which we knew that we were doing anyways, but it was kind of like a break. But I think this season particularly is what leads us into the new era, into 41, on how they want to handle things going forward as production, and how they want to handle casting, and how they want to whatever narratives they want to focus on for each contestant going forward. So I think this one was the one that actually was like, okay, how are we going to reformat our show going forward into the future and what we want to focus on? Even though 40 is like the cap of everything that happens before this, but like this one is the one that actually I think sets the groundwork with how they want to shape the new era going into 41.
100%. Mike.
Mike's gone. Oh, what?
Mike, are you back? I don't know if he's back.
No, he's not back. See, it's
Okay.
good thing he would have said something stupid about Noura, so it's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Well, with that, next week we got Winners at War. You better get ready because they're coming for you. We're talking about the Avengers Endgame next week, and so super excited to get to 40. And yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.
We love you, Janet.